Good blessed Friday morning, September the 29th, 2023. It's about 7:57 a.m. I greet all human beings all around the world with the universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. Doesn't matter what your political, philosophical, personal, nor your religious beliefs may be. Doesn't matter whether you're the richest or the poorest person on the face of this earth. Doesn't matter if you're the proclaimed toughest or the proclaimed weakest person on the face of this earth. Doesn't matter if you're my family, friends, nor my proclaimed enemies. Doesn't matter whether you like me or anything that I do or produce. That's your prerogative. You have a First and a 14th Amendment right and so many other rights to the United States Constitution to think as you please. What I want to do today, I have some corrections on a YouTube that I just made yesterday about the Carbondale, Illinois City Council and some of the Carbondale, Illinois, Carbondale United organization. First, I want to say I spoke about a shooting in Carbondale. All right now, I spoke about a shooting in Carbondale, Illinois, which took place on September the 19th, 23. And then 7 days later on Tuesday, September the 26th, 2023, the Carbondale, Illinois City Council had a meeting, and a couple of people that spoke in there I took note to. One of them was Van Eichner, who claimed to be a Carbondale United, Carbondale violent interrupter. But like I said before, him, Michael Violent, and the rest of them that call themselves violent interrupters, they can't show you, or nobody else can show you, anytime that they on the scene or interrupting any violence. But what I wanted to correct is the shooting that happened September the 19th, 2023 in Carbondale, Illinois. I said it was a black guy that was a victim of a mugging, and he chased after the mugger and shot at him, but didn't shoot him. But it was a white individual. Some of my staff, I'm an NAACP member. I stand for the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. That ain't what they stand for here in Charleston, Missouri, nor in Carbondale, Illinois, with the exception of one member. Van Eichner, that you're going to hear speak, he's an NAACP member, and he can't tell, he's supposed to have been getting with them, asking them why they haven't responded to my complaint against the Carbondale Police Department, which I filed by email May the 11th, 2021. They said they was waiting on the results from the investigation, the death investigation of my son. They closed the case. The police department closed the case in August of 2021. The prosecuting attorney closed it in September 2021, and they still haven't gave me a response to it. They said it was on hold. But Van Eichner, just like the rest of them NAACP members, with the exception of one, are fake. They're not about the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. But anyway, what I wanted to correct was that shooting wasn't a black guy that got mugged. It was a white guy that got mugged. And him and some of his friends chased the mugger, which was a Spanish guy, shot at him but didn't kill him or didn't hit him. And the mugger, the Spanish guy, was arrested. But the white guy that did the shooting wasn't. And I want you to listen to Adam Loafs, the city council member. Y'all seen it before, but listen to him. But I want you to know something else. My son was shot June of 2020 in the foot or the leg. Me and my daughters went down there in Carbondale. The police detective that supposedly was doing my son's death investigation from when he got found lynched Friday, March the 19th, 2021, he was the same one the year before that went to the hospital and asked my son, did he know who shot him? And my son told him. I believe the individual name was James Brown. I don't give a doggone who don't like me saying it. I got the paperwork from the Freedom of Information Act right here. And the detective told him was there several James Browns. He had photo lineup. That's what they use, photo lineups, when they don't have the individuals in custody. Use a photo lineup, and my son positively identified this guy as the shooter. The police investigated it. The guy claimed he was in Vienna, Illinois, a little distance away from Carbondale, Illinois, doing some work. They checked with the people. The people said he was not only doing work, but they pinged his phone, and his phone said he was in the area where my son was shot. But guess what? This same prosecuting attorney, Joseph Cervantes, a Spanish guy from Chicago, Illinois, but he's down there in Southern Illinois now. He said he was from 71st and Marshfield. He looks like, act like, and walk like he's a gangbanger. I know he's racist against blacks, with the exception of like Michael Vallet, Van Eichner, Nancy Maxwell, Junior Rice Sanders, people that's sellouts for the blacks. But anyway, he dropped the charges on this guy just recently, this year, saying that he dropped the charges because the victim is deceased. Then he said that my son story was changing, but my son's story wasn't changing when he was in the hospital. He told them, pointed out who shot him in the leg. The police investigated this guy. This guy got caught up in lies. I got it on black and white. Got caught up in lies, saying that he was in Vienna, Illinois, doing work at that time, and it showed that he was lying about that. So why did you drop that? Why didn't you press charges on Michael Vallet and his white wife, Katie Babcock? That's Babcock, Vallet. Why didn't you press charges on them for spending my son's food stamp card 39 days after he was dead, found dead? And it's a fact that they was using other people from the homeless shelter in Carbondale, Illinois, getting their food stamp cards and using them. My son was getting $234 worth of food stamps and $95 worth of cash. Michael Vallet and his wife kept my son's card and supposedly was giving him money every month. But my son didn't know during the pandemic they was giving him $95. He told the police detective he was giving my son $95 a month. If that was the case, and my son don't know he getting $95 on his food stamp card because he don't have it, that means Michael Vallet and his wife was giving my son his own money back and keeping his food stamp. But he told me different. He told me he didn't know how much my son, he couldn't remember how much my son was getting because they had so many other people food stamp card, but he said he was giving them about $35 a month. He couldn't have gave him nothing in the month of March because my son was found hung. He couldn't have gave him nothing in the month of April because my son was dead. He couldn't have gave him nothing in the month of May. And let me tell you what he tried to do when he seen my YouTube videos asking where's my son's identifications and things at. He contacted me on Messenger and told me he was my son's friend. And then he ended up breaking down after a while and saying that he had my son's food stamp card and he was trying to help my son. And he said, ask me, did I want the card? Now, he didn't ask me, I wanted him and his wife to help us get my son's body from Carbondale, Illinois to Chicago, Illinois. He didn't ask, do you want us to help you get his funeral paid up? He didn't ask that you want to help get him a headstone. He wanted to give me a card that they done already spent money off of. But the prosecuting attorney didn't press charges on him, and it's been 923 days. The police department didn't arrest him. You know why? Because she white. He working with Michael Vallet working with the police department, and he's selling drugs in the black community. He's a gangbanger, so is Van Eichner and any other of these Carbondale United so-called violent interrupters. Y'all look at the video, but I'm correcting. It wasn't a black guy that was mugged. It was a white guy. And that'd make it even worse. The white guy chasing after somebody, but I ain't gonna even knock him for chasing after him, because he probably know, just like me, just like here in Carbondale, Illinois, and in Charleston, Missouri, the police ain't gonna do nothing about, and the prosecuting attorney ain't gonna do nothing about certain people that's victims. Peace be still.
Custody in Carbondale today following a robbery last night. Police say that 30-year-old Juan Rivera is charged with assault, aggravated robbery, and aggravated battery. Police were called to the 1200 block of East Main Street last night at around 6 o'clock for a report of a robbery. Friends of the victim reportedly chased the suspect in and out of a business before the victim fired a shot at the suspect. Now, police say no one was injured and the victim is not facing any charges at this time.
Good blessed Throwback Thursday, September the 28th, 2023. It's about 9:30 p.m. I greet all human beings all around the world with the universal greetings of peace. The blessings of God be with you. Doesn't matter what your political, philosophical, personal, nor your religious beliefs may be. Doesn't matter whether you're the richest to the poorest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't matter whether you are the proclaimed toughest to the proclaimed weakest person on the face of this earth. Doesn't matter if you're my family, friends, nor my proclaimed enemies. I greet you all with that same universal greetings. It doesn't even matter whether you like anything I say or do. That's your prerogative. You have a First, 14th, and so many other rights to the United States Constitution to say and do as you please. These pictures that I'm showing right now is the black guy is Michael Vallet. Michael Vallet lives in Carbondale, Illinois. He was convicted when he was about 17 years old. He did about 17 years, I believe, in the Illinois Department of Corrections for a murder. Murder, drug-related case. To the right is his. They married now. Her name is Katie. Her maiden name, which she uses at the Carbondale Rebound High School in Carbondale, Illinois, as a adult educator. Her name is Katie Babcock. That's Babcock. But she married invalid. But anyway, I want you to pay close attention to both of these individuals because they are thieves and robbers. Michael Vallet is a part of this thing that you will be hearing about in a lot of my YouTube videos. You'll hear Van Eichner and Nancy Maxwell and a few other people talk about Carbondale United. Michael Vallet is a part of Carbondale United. But Michael Vallet and his wife, Katie, when my son, Brian Lamont Johns, was found hung on Friday, March the 19th, 2021 in Carbondale, Illinois, Michael Vallet and his wife had been spending his food stamps before they took advantage of him because he was at a homeless shelter in Carbondale, Illinois, Michael Vallet would go to the homeless shelter and take food to the homeless shelter from a grassroots program that the people entrusted him to do when he got out of prison. He acted as if he was reformed, but he wasn't. What he was doing, him and Katie Babcock Vallet, what they was doing, Michael Vallet would go to the homeless shelter. When he dropped the food off at the homeless shelter, he had seen my son there that they was in prison together, and he got my son and other homeless people there that was fighting drug addiction and mental illnesses and things like that was trying to get their lives together. Michael Vallet and his wife was praying. That's Preying, praying on these people. They was victims. They was getting their food stamp cards. And Michael Vallet and Katie Babcock Vallet was caught on videotape at the store spending my son food stamps 39 days after he was found hung. A homicide that I know for a fact staged as a suicide. Katie Vallet, the Carbondale police went to her workplace because she white. And I can't see it nothing else. Went to her workplace because she got caught doing the same thing her husband was doing. You see, he black as night and she white as day. The detective went to her workplace and questioned her about her being on tape spending my son food stamps. Now, this detective didn't take down the notes. He didn't record it as a police report. He didn't take her downtown like he did Michael Vallet and several other people concerning my son's case, my son's death. He didn't take her down. He don't have no report at the police department because I got the Freedom of Information Act, the file, and the lady that gives you the file, when I asked her where is Katie Babcock Vallet's statement at, she said there is none. And the police detective told me that it's not none because he didn't question her at the police station. He questioned her at her job, but he supposed to took her down to the station like he did her husband and questioned her. But neither one of them was never arrested nor charged to date. And it's been 923 days since my son been found dead as of today. Now, the reason why I'm telling you this here, they just had a city council meeting in Carbondale, Illinois, and me and my two young daughters, they 17 and 18 now, but when they was 15 and 16, both of them spoke at the Carbondale city council meeting concerning my son's death. But on the 26th of September, the day before my son's birthday, 48th birthday, city council had a city council meeting, and another convict by the name of Van Eichner, who him and Mike Vallet supposed to be what they call violent interrupters for the Carbondale United. Carbondale United want them to get paid the same salary as the Carbondale police officers, $58,000 a year. And they don't do a doggone thing. They don't stop no violence. They don't interrupt none. They claim they do. But the reason why I'm speaking about this now, I want y'all to listen to Van Eichner. When he get up to speak at this city council meeting, once he spoke about my son, that's when he acted like he was going to help me try to get justice for my son, and then have the police to reveal some of the things like why they didn't arrest Mike Vallet and Katie. But I found out Mike Vallet and Van Eichner, both of them, Van Eichner speak about the GDs, you know, some of his family members being high ranking, and Mike Vallet is a known gang banger and a drug dealer. So I see why he ain't trying to help me expose both of them. But Van Eichner speaks in at the meeting on the 26th. All he's talking about is something for Carbondale United, something to get them some type of money. They supposed to be violent interrupters. You ain't seen nothing that they interrupted. But the next thing I want to talk about is the city councilman, Adam Lopes, what he speak about. Listen to it real good now. I believe it was a black man that was mugged, the older black man that was mugged in Carbondale. And the guy that mugged him, the older guy, chased the guy down and shot at him. And Adam Lopes speaks at the city council meeting on September the 26th, 2023, saying that he felt that the prosecuting attorney should have charged this guy because this guy was like a vigilante. He said he should have charged this guy, but he didn't, and he felt that he should have. But I'd have been coming there for the past almost 2 years speaking about Michael Vallet and this white wife of his spending my son's food stamp card and never charged. Adam Lopes, the mayor, or nobody else. Police chief, nobody else. Van Eichner, nobody else. Nobody from the Carbondale United spoke up about this here. If it's a crime, if he think it's vigilante because this guy was mugged, my son crimes was committed against my son while he was dead and alive. Adam Lopes and none of them didn't speak about it, but just look at it. Now, it's a double standard, I guess. You see the smile on her face. She probably smiling. Yeah, Brian dead. We can still spin his thing. Look at him. He's not a violent interrupter. He's a thug in Carbondale. He's a coward in Carbondale, just like Van Eichner and the people that run Carbondale United, because they won't speak up about Katie Babcock because two reasons. She's white and she's on the school board, and they one of their fearless leaders, Linda Flowers, is the president of NAACP in Carbondale, Illinois, and she's on the school board. So she ain't gonna go against them white people. Linda Flowers is also on the commission for the fire and police department, so she ain't gonna go against the police department. I just want y'all to look at the double standards. If Adam Lopes think that they should get that black man for shooting at somebody that mugged him, I'm sure he should think about Michael Vallick, which they give high honors there, for spending my son food stamp, and he had other people food stamp card, and get on the police department in Carbondale, Illinois, and the prosecuting attorney for not even having a record of what Katie Babcock was questioned about, why she didn't go down to the police department. And then the detective asked her, do you think your husband, Michael Vallick, killed my son, Brian Lamont Johns, over some meth? Why would he ask him that? Because he know Michael Vallick still dealing drugs, but they don't care because he in the black community. Then he married to a white woman. I'm going to leave it at that, y'all. Justice for Brian Lamont Johns. If you going to charge that black man, Adam Lopes, if you want the black man charged, how about you talking about charging this white woman and her black husband for spending my son food stamps 39 days after he dead? That's a crime. Peace be still.
Good evening. My name is Van Eichner. I'll be representing Carbondale United this evening. Just wanted to share a few events that we have coming up this week. Create Your Future, Stop the Violence monthly community meeting. This month's topic is Peacekeepers. We see you. Neighborhood Watch. We'll be having a Zoom meeting, and it will occur over at the 309 Jackson Street location from 6 p.m. until 7 p.m. I'd like to make sure that we invite everyone in attendance here to come out if you possibly can to share your thoughts and your concerns for our community. We want to put together a plan of action to actually do something in our community, put our citizens to use, and have an opportunity for all of us to open up dialogue. I think that it's very important that we realize that we have an opportunity to share power within our community, and what it looks like is up to us. And it takes all of us participating, and it is in our willingness that we are blessed. If you show up, that means that we have an opportunity to tap into you. We have the following day on September 28th, we have a hidden resource fair that is about bringing information to the community. We'll have doula services, credit repair, housing opportunities, employment opportunities. We'll have other members of our community that will be available to throw their capes on and let them know what resources are available to the citizens that we have in our community so that we can try to impact their lives and help them self-actualize. On Friday, the Alphas, part of the Divine Nine from our wonderful SIUC campus, will be holding and hosting a family fun day that will also be at our location, and it will start at 5 p.m. until 8 p.m., and there'll be vendors, there'll be an opportunity for us to come together and fellowship with one another, which is very important. The last time that we had a block party, it was absolutely successful. Hundreds of people came out, and it was a wonderful opportunity for us all to convene and to sort of pat each other on the back for creating safer communities. If you all can make it out and help spread the word via social media, that'll really help. We are depending on each and every one of you. Thanks, guys. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Anyone else? Mr. Proclamations. Any comments from council on this side? Mr. Lose.
Two. One is to inform my colleagues. I spoke with Mr. Williams about this. The next, I think, 2, maybe 3 council meetings, I may be a few minutes late. I'm going to judge by the agenda for each meeting. My son has flag football from 5 to 6. And so I thought I'd watch most of his game and then come here, and I realized that I didn't have my priorities straight, that this can probably wait most weeks. But if I'm not here, I'll be here. And if somebody could just make an announcement so we all know I'm not, laying drunk in the gutter or whatever, I would appreciate it. Second thing, I don't want to point the finger at anybody. I just need to say this, and it needs to be said. There was a shooting incident in the last week or so out at in the parking lot by Chili's and TJ Maxx. And what happened there, as best as can be ascertained, is that a vigilante was mugged, essentially, and decided to chase the mugger down and fire his weapon multiple times at that person. No charges were filed against that person yet, and they need to be. The state's attorney has it within his power to charge that person. I'm not saying the person needs to go to prison. They're very old. I get that. I'm not even really a big believer in prison. But there needs to be consequences for that. Otherwise, everybody is going to think it's going to be okay to chase down their muggers and fire their weapons in public. And that's not okay, and it's not safe. So we need the state's attorney to do something here. And should something like that happen in the future, I would hope that the person would be issued a citation before being released. And if the state's attorney doesn't want to pursue the charges, he's certainly free to drop them. But that should not go unmentioned.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Is in custody in Carbondale today following a robbery last night. Police say that 30-year-old Juan Rivera is charged with assault, aggravated robbery, and aggravated battery. Police were called to the 1200 block of East Main Street last night at around 6 o'clock for a report of a robbery. Friends of the victim reportedly chased the suspect in and out of a business before the victim fired a shot at the suspect. Now, police say no one was injured and the victim is not facing any charges at this time.